What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we got some more breaking news right now. Boxing Cuck with Ade leaked some news. Obviously, we know Boxing Cuck with Ade is what's the word I'm looking for? He is an insider, don't he now? He works with the establishment as such. So we got all the inside links with Eddie Hearn and whatnot. He alleges April the 11th is now the date. Team Anthony Johnston are looking to fight the rematch with USYK. Now, I've got some more videos coming soon. I'm a bit iffy, if the truth be known. And the reason I'm iffy is it just seems a little bit rushed. Eddie Hearn himself made some comments saying that, yeah, we want to do it in April, but if AJ starts camp in February, then it's not very long, but April's a preferred date. I'm thinking, what's the rush? In fact, you know what? Let me give you the quotes actually from Hearn. That way you know that I'm not gassing. This is what Eddie Hearn said regarding this situation. He said, I think April is realistic for that fight, AJ versus USYK 2. Before you know it, it's going to be February, and these fights take a lot of organising. For us, the preferred date and venue for that fight will be in the UK, in which case we would have to do the fight outside, so we're not really interested in doing that fight in March. AJ has been training relatively solidly since the fight. Realistically, if you start your training camp in February, even April becomes quite tight, but that is the preferred date for the fight, and I think that's realistic. So there you go then. Eddie Hearn admits April. Boxing Cuck with Ade, he says April 11th, so it's all kind of lining up. Oh yeah, got a whole bag of insider donnies right now, talking. But for me, what's the rush? Yeah? I don't know, I've been saying for a long time, in my last few videos about Anthony Johnston, I've been saying that I feel as if, potentially, he knows something, or him and his team know something we don't. Because if I was Eddie Hearn, yeah, knowing as well, again, I've got another video coming soon. We know, or allegedly, Team Anthony Johnston themselves now have been saying for a little while, Johnston has changed camps. So I'm thinking, wait there, you just lost, you've changed camps. You haven't even, AJ hasn't even, for all we know so far, he hasn't even actually knuckled down with his actual trainer. I'm hearing some people saying that it's going to be Robert Garcia. I'm thinking, Robert Garcia? We're seeing him training in Dubai still. In my mind, based on all the information, April's going to be tight because it's obviously January now. What's the rush? I understand, or from what I understand, rematch clauses are good for about a year. If I was Team AJ, I'd be advising we stretch this out. If we're not able to have a warm-up fight, fine. But still. And if anything, actually, if I was really in AJ's camp, I'd probably do a warm-up fight. Even if we couldn't do one properly, yeah, I'd rent out some little stadium. I'd invite all family and friends on a quiet thing. Or maybe not. Or maybe just do boxing people. Either way. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'd do. I'd bring in some heavyweight. And I'd try and have a proper fight. Unregulated. You know, one's there. Obviously, it'd be a gym fight, but try and replicate. To see how he deals with the pressure. To see how he performs. I'd do that 6 months out. So maybe, let's say they were to fight in October, which would be a year. Maybe in April, rather than doing a real fight then, I'd do a mock fight. I don't know what the rush is. Unless, like I've been saying, unless they know something we don't. The way that Hearn's happy to say, well, October's a bit of a rush because AJ's got a new camp, but that's the preferred date anyway. It's kind of like, well, why is that the preferred date? Who gives a F about April if it's about winning? For me, it's almost like in Hearn's mind, it's all about, well, we need to fight twice this year to get the coins coming in. Whether he wins or loses doesn't matter as long as he's out there fighting someone. I don't think these guys appreciate how vital it is for his brand that he wins this fight. If he doesn't win, Anthony Johnston's legacy is done, people. I hate to break it to you, it's a fact. His legacy is done. He'll never be an all-time great. He'll actually be the biggest hype job ever, in my opinion. Because never in the history of the sport, has someone been able to make so much money for really not doing a lot. If you know what I'm saying. That's how I feel at this point. If AJ's career was to be beaten again by USYK. Because normally, historically, these kind of paydays, $40, $50 million, they only came in the biggest of fights. Lennox Lewis wasn't making $30, $40 million, $50 million in random ass fights. He was having to fight Tyson and whoever, Holyfield, other big names. AJ's rocking up fighting Povetkin or fighting Andy Ruiz and making 30, 40 million. I know inflation's happened since then, but still, it's all, even considering inflation, massive numbers. No one's ever been rewarded so handsomely for doing relatively not a lot. Now, I give AJ credit, he does want to fight the best, but still, I'm focused on the sport. I'm focused on the performance of the sport. Couldn't care less really about anything else. I've always said that. I want the best in terms of performance. Other people have been pocket watching. For years I've had goofies telling me, YB, you're wrong. AJ's making millions, what do you know? AJ, YB's got 3 belts, what do you know? AJ, YB's got Rob McCrappen, what do you know? Oops, now you're looking silly. Yeah? I noticed you man ain't been around for a while, Mr. 3 belts. How many belts has he got now? Yeah? So, all I can say at this point, and we're going to find out, if the fight happens in April, and he goes in there and steamrolls USYK, and it's all easy, then we'll know it was an absolute rigged fix, and he took a fall, but it's not likely, because I've mentioned before, look how he finished that fight. If AJ had control, and was just coasting, he wouldn't have ended the fight how it did. He ended up on the ropes and absolutely shot to bits on the stool. That's not a man in control coasting. So I'm baffled, honestly. Their arrogance is baffling. Why is Eddie Hearn more worried about cramming this in than getting it right? And I'm afraid to say, but unfortunately, AJ's camp for the last few years, bear in mind, think about the AJ vs Ruiz 1. What do we know about AJ vs Ruiz 1? Well, that was marred and tarred with the whole rumour about, he was injured, he was concussed beforehand in sparring. But his training team and Eddie Hearn pushed ahead because they didn't want to mess up the coins. So time and time, and even to be fair to this USYK fight, to some extent, there was some rumours. Now, I'm not knocking it. I'm someone who believes that, listen, you don't make excuses, you pull out if you need to. But unfortunately, AJ, number one, doesn't appear to be that high IQ where he can make them own decisions himself. But really, he shouldn't have to make them kind of decisions. It should be people like Eddie Hearn. That's what you pay advisors for. That's what you pay trainers for, to do the thinking for you. They're supposed to be people in your camp who can say, like Eddie, like Rob, no, we're not fighting. You're not going in there tonight. Because you're not right, we're pulling out. Yeah, AJ hasn't pulled out in his whole career. One pull out ain't gonna hurt nothing. I'd rather him pull out every now and then if he needs to, and then win. Yeah? Turning up and just turning up for sake of it and going through the motions. Who wants to watch that? No one does. And that's why, I've slagged Tyson Fury off, but I respect it to some extent. He does it, he pulls out way too frequently, but end of the day, Tyson Fury fans are laughing right now. Because no one really remembers that other crap. Yeah, the haters do. Yeah, people like me do. But really, no one's going to remember. 50 years from now, no one's going to remember. Oh, did you know? 3 months before Tyson Fury beat Wilder for the 3rd time, he pulled it. No one ain't going to know that. Yeah? No one's going to remember. Oh, but did you know? AJ fought everyone, even though he lost to 90% of them. No one's going to remember that. All they're going to see is loss, 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 loss. So again, it's better to get it right than it is to get it quick or get anything else. Don't know what this whole weird, man. It really is weird. The arrogance is weird. The focus is weird. You're more focused on getting a quick date in for what? Do you understand the gravity of the situation you find yourselves in? If he loses this fight, let's cram it in for April. He hasn't even had a stable camp. He's been in Dubai messing around with Chris Eubank. Honestly, I'm baffled. He's driving around in the Ferrari. He's turning up on Christmas Eve. He's got the kid. No word of a lie. I saw him partying on New Year's Eve, which is whatever. Then I saw him with the kids. Flew the kids out for a few weeks. Then I saw him training with Floyd. Then I saw him training with this other guy. Honestly, it's mad. It is truly mad. The only thing that makes sense now, is that there is some sort of... Seriously, the only thing that makes rational sense is that Eddie Hearn and AJ know something we don't. They're way too comfortable. Even after the Ruiz loss, he weren't this comfortable. Seriously. It's almost like he's got some sort of nuclear weapon in his hands he knows he can use next time. Because from what I saw, he's in a world of trouble in the rematch, from what I saw on that night. From how it all played out. It wasn't small adjustments. And it was worse than the Ruiz loss, because Ruiz was big and bubbly and slow feet. Ruiz isn't all that. Not a power puncher. He's not tricky. He's not that slick. He's not slick at all. He's stiff. Obviously, he's 300 pounds. Fucking hell. How slippery are you going to be? USYK, I'll give him some credit. I don't rate him, but I'll give him credit. Obviously, he's not bad, is he? He's better than Ruiz. But then again, look at what Chisora did with USYK. So really, and that is something I've got to remember. Before the AJ versus USYK fight, I said, if AJ goes in there and puts any pressure on, it will be an easy night's work. So I do believe that to some extent still. Now, do I trust? Do I have belief that that'll get done? No, I don't. But it is actually, well, before the fight, I told you it was an easy fight. And I said there's no way he could lose. And I still do believe that, under the right circumstances. If I was in the camp, there's no way he can lose. There's just no way. No way. And I just think it'd be an easy night's work. Listen, no fight at that level is going to be an easy night, but it'd be an easy night. But these other guys, and even, who knows? I'm not sure how weak his mind is yet. I've given myself a lot of credit. Oh, I could do this. I'm not even sure. We're going to find out. Yeah. His mind might be just proper supple now. He might be, you know what I mean? He may be beyond a YB. Yeah? Maybe not even the YB could erect this floppy looking ass. But anyway, I'm intrigued. If this fight gets locked in for April, wow. In a way though, it's good because it's been a minute since we've had any boxing. And at this point for me, I'm over the whole competitive and performance part of things. Maybe I just want to see a nightmare. How about that? Yeah? And to be honest, if this fight does get done in April and it ends up being a nightmare, who are we going to blame here? Apart from their arrogance. The whole lot of them, to be honest. Because right now you should be using all the tools you can. All the advantages. Again, unless you know something we don't. And that's the only conclusion I'll be able to make. If this fight gets done for April 11th, then they know something. That's going to be my base case. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bet on it. Yeah? Am I going to bet on AJ beating USYK? Absolutely not. Yeah? No way. But that's what it'll be leading towards. Because in my mind, there's no incentive whatsoever of rushing this rematch. Take your time. Get fit. Get accustomed to your new trainer. But to be honest, the problem is, you see, these trainers don't really know what they're doing. That's the truth, people. Yeah? I'm sorry, but all these so-called trainers, and I don't buy it myself. Unless it's me, unless I'm in there, I know what's going on, I just don't believe it, I don't buy it. I'm not confident any of these guys know what they're doing, truth be known. Yeah, they can hold the pads, yeah, they can do it, but I'm not sure they actually know how to condition someone. I'm just not. I think it'll go in there and it'll end up gassing again. That's what I believe will happen. At some level, it's going to end up gassing, is what I think will happen. Because these guys, they think that just going through the motion on the pads is conditioning. But anyway, let's not get into that. Let's just find out. Yeah, and to be honest, like I said, April's good for me. Quicker, sooner the better. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this over with.